Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Katie's dating app match, Will's plan brings Bill's jealous fury. The bold and the beautiful, B and V. Spoilers reveal that Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, has made his opinion crystal clear when it comes to Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, and Katie Logan's, Heather Tom, reunion chances. Although Will has assured Katie that it's her choice, he's also voiced concerns about Bill and the way he's treated her in the past. Will has good reasons not to trust Bill, so he'd prefer if Katie didn't go down that road with his dad again. Now that Katie has turned Bill down for the umpteenth time, Will is no doubt breathing a sigh of relief. What Will wants most of all is Katie's happiness, so he'd be pleased to see her find it with another man. Will and Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, are gearing up for a new romance, so that could leave Will on cloud nine in the coming weeks. It's easy to imagine Will wanting Katie to get swept up in a wonderful new relationship too. Will might take matters into his own hands by signing Katie up for a dating app and helping her find a hot match. Katie might start going out on some dates, presumably at Il Giardino, since B&B treats it like the only restaurant that exists. Bill hasn't given up on Katie yet, so he'd be insanely jealous if he witnessed her enjoying a flirty evening with a new guy. Now that Bill doesn't have Papi Novoa, Romy Park, to distract him, watching Katie with another man would leave him livid. From there, Bill might fight even harder for Katie, which could either result in winning her over or pushing her further away. Of course, it's also possible jealous Bill could have a different response entirely, like jumping into bed with Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, since she's on the verge of major problems with Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye. Regardless, Will doesn't want to see Katie lonely or with a man who's unworthy of her like Bill has proven to be so far. Perhaps Will could help Katie put her heart back out there with someone new and ignite Bill's fury in the process. Our B&B predictions hint that Bill and Katie's love lives will come with some curveballs, so stick with us for updates on any sizzling news ahead. In a world where Katie Logan thought she'd seen and heard it all, life had another surprise in store for her. It all began innocently enough, a casual chat with her son, Will Spencer, as she helped him set up his very first email account. The internet had no secrets from the young Spencer, and as he finished typing in his new email address, he casually turned to Katie and asked, "Mom, when are you going to start dating again?" Katie, taken aback, chuckled and waved off his question. "Oh, honey, I've got plenty to keep me busy with work, and I have you," she said with a warm smile, tussling his hair. But the question lingered, and Katie couldn't help but wonder. Was it time to step back into the dating world? Her thoughts drifted to the many ups and downs she'd experienced with Bill Spencer. Their relationship was a roller coaster, passionate, tumultuous, and sometimes downright toxic. One night, after some gentle persuasion from her friends and a glass, or two, of wine, Katie finally took the plunge. She downloaded a popular dating app, cautiously filling out her profile while still somewhat skeptical about the whole process. Her nerves were calmed by the sheer number of other people looking for connection. The whole world was dating through their screens, so why shouldn't she? Her profile was simple and honest, highlighting her love of family, a bit about her career at Forrester Creations, and her enjoyment of the simple things: cozy movie nights, beach walks, and good coffee. Within hours, her profile had several matches, but one in particular caught her eye: a charming, slightly mysterious man named Alex. His profile picture showed a man with kind eyes and an easy smile, and Katie couldn't help but feel drawn in. His profile was witty yet humble, hinting at a successful career without the arrogance that so often surrounded wealth and power. He seemed, in a word, grounded. Meanwhile, Youngwoo had caught wind of his mother's dating app adventure. Ever the schemer, he had already decided he didn't want just any random guy dating his mom, especially not some ordinary person who couldn't measure up to her high standards. Will knew that in his heart, he wanted his family back together, and he'd already formulated a plan. Step 1. Subtly make his dad, Bill, aware of Katie's dating life. It wasn't long before Alex and Katie's conversations began to blossom. They traded stories, shared favorite movies, and even discussed their mutual love for Italian food. The chemistry between them was undeniable, and Katie found herself looking forward to their daily chats. He seemed genuinely interested in her life, asking questions that hinted at a deep intelligence and thoughtfulness that Katie hadn't encountered in quite some time. This man was a far cry from Bill's boisterous, controlling demeanor. The inevitable day arrived when Alex proposed they meet in person. He suggested a charming, upscale bistro known for its intimate atmosphere and scenic views. Katie's excitement mingled with nerves, but she couldn't deny how thrilling it felt to be stepping into something new. As she prepared for the date, choosing a dress that balanced elegance with subtlety, Will quietly made his way to Spencer Publications. Arriving at his father's office, Will knocked on Bill's door, knowing that his surprise visit would pique his dad's curiosity. Bill Spencer had always adored his son and saw him as an extension of himself, someone he could guide and mold to become the future of Spencer Publications. Will began by mentioning school and casually slipped in, "Oh, by the way, Mom's going on a date tonight." The effect was immediate. Bill's entire demeanor shifted as he leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "A date? With who?" he demanded, his voice laced with an unmasked edge of jealousy. Will shrugged nonchalantly, pretending he didn't know much. "Some guy she met online. She's really excited, I think." It was exactly the kind of bait Will knew his father wouldn't resist. After all, Bill Spencer wasn't a man who took kindly to other men showing an interest in the mother of his child. Later that evening, Katie met Alex at the bistro. The evening was nothing short of magical. Alex was as charming and engaging in person as he had been in their messages. They laughed, shared stories, and talked as though they'd known each other for years. For the first time in ages, Katie felt herself relaxing, not analyzing every word or gesture, but simply enjoying the experience of someone genuinely interested in her. Meanwhile, Bill, unable to contain his jealousy, had made his way to the very same bistro. He'd reasoned with himself that it was for Will's benefit, that he had to know who was around his son. But the truth was more complicated. Deep down, Bill hated the idea of Katie finding happiness with anyone else. He waited just out of view, stewing over the scene of Katie with another man. As he watched her laugh, Bill felt something he rarely allowed himself to acknowledge: vulnerability. Katie had always seen through his walls, understanding the softer side he often hid from the world. Seeing her so at ease with Alex reminded him of how much he had taken her presence for granted, how often he had let his ambition and ego drive a wedge between them. Unable to contain himself, Bill finally approached their table. Katie's surprise was visible as he strolled over with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Katie, fancy meeting you here," he said, his voice smooth, but tinged with a possessive undertone that didn't go unnoticed. Katie, flustered but determined, introduced the two men, hoping Bill would keep his cool. But Alex sensed the tension immediately, and in a smooth, calm manner, greeted Bill with respect. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Bill. Katie speaks highly of her family." Bill, however, wasn't in the mood for small talk. His focus was singular. He wanted to reassert his presence in Katie's life, reminding both her and Alex that he was still very much in the picture. He went on about family, dropping hints that underscored his history with Katie, even bringing up inside jokes they'd share to subtly imply that no one else could truly understand her the way he did. Katie, both embarrassed and frustrated, eventually excused herself and Bill, pulling him aside. "What are you doing, Bill?" she asked, her tone edged with irritation. "I know Will told you about this, but this isn't about you. It's my life, my decision." Bill's response was heartfelt yet laced with pride. "Katie, I know I've messed up, more times than I care to admit. But seeing you with someone else, it's like I'm losing you all over again." Katie sighed, recognizing the sincerity in his words, but knowing she couldn't let his jealousy control their choices. "Bill, you'll always be Will's father, and you'll always be important to me. But that doesn't mean I'm waiting for you." Returning to the table, she finished her evening with Alex, who remained respectful and kind, sensing the complexity of Katie's relationship with Bill. But as they said goodbye, Katie couldn't shake the realization that she was finally ready to choose herself, to take control of her future. The question of whether she'd find lasting love with Alex or another remained unanswered. But one thing was clear: Katie Logan was done waiting in the wings. And as for Bill Spencer, he'd either learn to respect her choices or risk losing her forever.